G'day, I'm Paul. So, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, we have finally finished our time with the car. I told you in the last video we shot here that I wanted to spend some time with this. It's now been about 6 months with it, and today I want to run you through all the good stuff and the bad stuff, and whether I would actually buy this car as a family car. And certainly if you're in the market now, there are so many more choices than there were 6 months ago when we started this loan. So there's a lot of competition, and does this still stack up? Well, we're going to find that out today. Just as a reminder, this is the Mach-E Premium. So mid-spec, you've got the entry-level rear-wheel drive. Mid-spec has bigger battery rear-wheel drive, and then the GT is the full fruit with all-wheel drive performance. This kind of sits in the middle there, still gives you the punch that you need, but is just rear-wheel drive with a bigger battery. What's it been like? Well, let's jump inside. We'll go for a bit of a drive. Just on the outside first, though, I really do love this color. It turns so many heads. It just looks different to everything else on the road. And it's one of the things that you realize when you're driving it, that you don't really want to be driving just the popular thing that everyone has. Like, there are so many Teslas out on the road, and now with a huge variety of Chinese market cars, a lot of Volkswagen products now coming as full electric options, there's so much more to actually pick from. And then when you get different looking stuff like this that doesn't just look pedestrian, it is kind of cool to be out on the road with it. Actually, before we jump in, someone ran into the back of the car a little while back, and it's funny, you look at the amount of damage on here, you can barely tell anything has happened. Her car, which was an older car, she wasn't concentrating, was like pushed in. So it's pretty cool to see how much protection there is here for low speed impacts. So Ford wanted us to hold off fixing this until we return the car, so that'll get fixed shortly. But really good to see the amount of protection that you have there. So let's hop in, we'll go for a spin, and I'll run you through the highlights and the lowlights of living with the Mustang Mach-E. Okay, so we have just hit the road in the Mach-E. Let me run you through the things I like and don't like about the car. So the first one is probably the most immediately obvious one, and especially since we've been testing a lot of electric cars recently that are new to the market from like the Volkswagen brand, their rides are just really good. This, on the other hand, is very firm. Like, it's just way too firm, and it kind of feels the same way that our Tesla Model Y did, the last one that we owned. It was just not properly tuned for comfort driving with a family on board. This in particular is tuned for sportiness, which kind of makes sense given that it is a Mustang, but in my mind they really should have factored in, you know, the fact that this is going to be used by families, and it needs to have a much smoother ride. So there is an update to this car coming. They sort of tweaked a few things here and there, so I'll be curious to see whether suspension was one of those things, because it would definitely benefit from a much softer ride. Outside of that though, I've genuinely been really impressed with this car. I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it, and going from, you know, a Tesla which was tech king and had all of those cool features, had lots of software updates that were deployed to the car. You know, this had barely any updates at all, and the tech, in my mind, from a remote connectivity point of view, isn't very good. You can still remotely access the car, lock and unlock, start and stop charging, all the basic stuff, climate control, but you can't really sort of go overboard in terms of what you can do like you can with the Tesla app. Didn't really become that much of an issue, and it's all kind of overcome by the fact that you've got a really good infotainment system. The fact that you can have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you don't need to have Tesla's proprietary system. And the Tesla one looks good on the surface, but it's super fiddly. The voice controls don't really work that well. You just want to be able to get stuff done, and you can't really do it. Whereas here, everything is easy to access. The infotainment is fast. It's got smartphone mirroring, so I can just do everything I need to do. And the voice recognition is great because I'm able to use the smartphone voice recognition that just does everything. So from those points of view, I think that they've done well here in terms of the technology. As a family vehicle on space, the most important thing to me is that my wife likes the car, and she absolutely loved this. And I think probably the biggest thing that she loved was the screen ahead of the driver here. Just being able to see your speed while you're driving, I just think is a critical item. And again, throwing back to our Tesla, you just couldn't see that. Everything was off to the side here, and it was really frustrating to deal with. So having a screen ahead of you just makes life so much easier. And this is something that I think all cars need to be fitted with. Just this simplicity thing of having one screen just doesn't really work. Oh, now one thing that is, you know, you get used to it if it's the only car that you drive, but the brake pedal, it is so sensitive. You kind of fly through the windscreen every time you tap it. It's really, really aggressive, and that's something else they need to sort out. You don't get over the performance. Like, rear-wheel drive punches you back in the seat. It's a really good feeling, and it's not over the top. You know, in our single car review, we showed you that if you switch everything off, it can actually hang the tail out. You can have some fun with it. And that sort of translates to driving range as well. You're getting a really good driving distance out of the vehicle, like 378 k's at 70%. It's a really realistic driving range. You're able to drive long distances. You've got a big battery here, and it does what you need to do from a family perspective. Now, what about economy? Let's crack this open. So since we picked up the car, we've done we're at 11,600 k's now, so we've done a fair bit of driving. Well, that looks like bit of a bug there, because for some reason it has reset the trip computer on its own, and then it's stopped counting our energy use. So the only one I can go to is the last 1,600 k's, which is showing 18 kilowatt hours per 100 k's. So when I actually was running this and checking it properly, we were sitting around the 16 kilowatt hour per 100k mark, which is slightly higher than some of the other cars in the segment, but still fairly reasonable in terms of what you'd expect from a vehicle like this. So not the end of the world, but certainly could be better. But given that it has a big battery, you're already getting that extra driving range anyway, so you kind of overcome that regardless. From a kid's perspective, had my daughter's seat set up in the back of the car the entire time. It's easy to click in and unload. The headrests don't get in the way, which I do find with some cars it's really hard to fit child seats with the headrests in the position that they're in. This had plenty of room in the boot. You have storage in the front and also the rear, so there's plenty of places to put little bits and pieces. So from a family car perspective, there is plenty to get away with there, and plenty of places to put things if you're going on longer distance drives. So what is the final verdict? Spent about 6 months with the car. I came away really liking it. If you are going to buy one of these, the mid-spec is, I think, where it's at. I've seen Ford advertising these for fairly cheap. You can get drive away the base model of this for around the same price as a Model Y. I think it's around $60,000. Ford is struggling to sell these, and I think a lot of it comes down to pricing. Ford initially dropped the price to start with, but didn't follow up with subsequent price drops. And at the moment, they're kind of sitting in this lofty area where it is quite expensive. Now, it's quite expensive compared to all the other stuff on the market, like your Chinese entrants and the Tesla product as well. Problem they've got is that since this was launched, you've had a litany of other brands, like your German brands, Volkswagen, Skoda, all that sort of stuff come to the fray. And as they come in, they kind of then push the market down as well. So it's currently sitting in a position where I think it is priced a little bit too high, which is a shame, because the car itself is really good. And I think they've done a great job with it, and I'm keen to see what the updates are like. And I hope that fixes stuff like that brake pedal feel in the ride, because they are really the only two things that detract from me wanting to own one of these longer term. So there it is, guys. A long-term test of this, my summary on it. Let us know what you want us to do for future long-term tests. Do you want us to include more information, less information? Is there something you specifically want me to focus on? Let me know in the comments section below. Do you own a Mustang Mach-E? What has it been like? Do you share the same thoughts I do? I'm keen for your feedback. So until next time, take it easy. Bye.